Yeah, it's already quite late here, so I can't speak too loud because the neighbors are probably sleeping already. But as you can see on the picture on the screen, though, I've yeah made something a short little presentation, and I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll just start with the first live stream, where I would like to show you a few of our past field trips. And as you can already hear, I'm not a native speaker, so English is not my first language. Be patient. Anyway, we'll start now. This is the very first episode where we try to show you the past field trips of, in this case, South America. So the very first episode, and as you can see by the title, the whole story is leading towards the fact that we were going to find the Pterophosa blondi, the Goliath bird-eating tarantula. Hi there, a lot of people. And anyway, we started this trip a few years ago and went to Suriname. So that was the first decision which country we wanted to go. Um, as you know, Pterophosa or Pterophosa blondi is known from different places. They're also in French Guyana and also in Brazil. So on the map here you can see where Suriname is located. It's just right next to French Guyana. On the eastern part, on the western part, there is British Guyana, and on the southern part, there is Brazil. So we decided to head over to Suriname for a 2-week field trip. Hi. And just a few facts. It's not that interesting compared to Switzerland. The size is already almost 4 times the size of Switzerland, and the population is quite low. It's almost 500,000 people, and Switzerland there are over 8 million people. So quite a difference. You can also see it here, population-wise. Um, Population per square kilometers. You can see here in the city, the main city, there are a lot of people living, and the rest of it actually is nature, most likely. Uh, and there are also some nature reserve protected zones. And you can see this one, the number 14. There is the place where we try to go. Since this is also protected zone, and it's the easiest to reach. So here again, our stops in Suriname. This is a map, a picture from Google Maps satellite view, and all the green is basically rainforest. So quite a lot of forest. If you guys have any questions, I know I'm just heading a monologue here, but that's not how this should work. It's the first time actually, so make sure you maybe leave questions, comments, anything you want to hear, and we can get through it. So the very first spider we found in Suriname was actually an Avicularia. And Avicularia are known to be quite easy to find in the wild. So you can see here the spinneret, the webbing of the spider itself was between 2 leaves, so they usually stitch leaves together. The juvenile ones do that oftentimes. So you can see it here, beautiful juvenile specimen, very nice coloration, and that's actually the true Avicularia avicularia. So the type of this whole genus is from Suriname. I'll just check on the comments section. Yeah, discover any new species in Suriname? Sure, there are new species in Suriname, not described yet, and therefore there has to be work done. But anyway, we have not found new species on this trip in Suriname. Increase the volume, yeah, already done that. I hope it's somewhat understandable now. But here is a bigger specimen. So you can see the change in coloration, ontogenetic pattern change. So they differ when they grow, and when they reach maturity, they look also very bluish. Here is a specimen we found on this palm tree. So in the night, during the night, it's actually quite easy for them uh, to yeah, it's easy to spot them during the night because they wait outside for prey item. Did you encounter any Paristopelma bromelicola or Iridopelma hirsutum in the wild? I actually did find Iridopelma hirsutum, but we were not successful in finding Paristopelma bromelicola. But that was on our very first field trip in 2010, so maybe that's something I can cover as well here in this, yeah, sort of live demonstration of past field trips. This is an adult female we found in the very same area. You could see Rito standing here in the background, but these species are just, yeah, very nice and just very gentle, so you can also handle them in the wild if you have the need to, so they are not usually biting or anything. And that's the prey item. So the grasshoppers there, the crickets, they all look very beautiful, very colorful, but of course they feed on them, so that's something you're going to, yeah, see when you're there, because nature's harsh sometimes. Would love to see more wild Pterophosa in the wild. Yeah, I would love to see them also more often in the wild. We've just managed to find these on this trip, so later on this video I actually have video footage of Pterophosa blondi in the wild on our channel, so make sure you check it out. It's, I think, the very first video ever I uploaded on the channel, so would be, if you're interested in Pterophosa blondi, make sure you check it out. Do you T blondi can get bigger than what has been recorded? I don't think I understood the question right, but yeah, they're quite big. It's probably one of the biggest tarantulas ever. There is another species of tarantula from the Congo, uh, completely different continent, but this might actually be bigger than Pterophosa blondi. Spitting spider, Scutodes, very nice. They're quite tiny, but they spit their silk on the prey, and they, yeah, actually, yeah, silk the prey onto the ground, and they then prey on them. So that's quite fascinating. Yeah, huge flying ants. They were everywhere, as you can see here. There were hundreds and hundreds of them. But that's just the first day in Suriname, and after that, after the very first day in Suriname, we decided actually to head over to the Caribbean side, to Trinidad and Tobago, because we actually managed to find that maybe 2 weeks of time is a little bit too much for the small country of Suriname. You're not able to travel very well in this country because there are not many roads you can go, and you should take a small plane to fly into the Amazon, and that would certainly take a little more time than actually spending 2 weeks there. So we decided to take a short flight to the islands of Trinidad and Tobago, just for, I think, 3 or 4 days. The flight was like $100, so it was really expensive, really cheap, not expensive. And anyway, we decided to head over there. Some nice rooms for bird watchers. So it's famous actually for people who go bird watching there. And here is a picture of them. So it was also nice to see people interested in yeah, different animals. So normally we are the people who are walking inside the forest searching for people, and we don't searching for animals, and we don't actually see that many people interested in animals. And that was quite interesting to see that so many people actually are fascinated by birds, and they were standing there all the day long and just, yeah, hoping that their bird appears and they can take a picture of it. These were some of the birds. And I think if the spider we found later on, and I will show you pictures, they sometimes prey on birds. Probably not colibris, maybe hummingbirds, maybe not adult ones, but most likely on babies. So I'll go on the comment section again. This is all new, sorry. I have to manage all the things, talking, showing pictures, reading your comments. It's great to see so many people here, see all the comments. So, how do the Terrafosa in Suriname compare to the French Guiana variant? You heard they're bigger, particularly South Suriname variant. Um, there's not that much material to compare actually. So I've not seen Suriname material in the hobby. I know that one guy had a few specimens, but they were certainly not in breeding. But later on, probably not on this video because it will just take too much time. But check the video out I have on my channel. Um, the very first one we uploaded about Terrafosa blondi, and there are also pictures in it, and you can see that these specimens are much hairier than the specimens from French Guiana or Brazil. So if that is, I don't know, um, a feature we can use in the taxonomy, probably not, but yeah, if we would there be new material we could work on, then maybe that will change. So I'm not sure they're bigger. I would say they're even more compact than the ones from French Guiana, but they're hairier and therefore completely different looking, more like a curly haired tarantula. Are you ever interested in doing a Formicochilus species in the wild? My favorite genus of bird spider. Thank you for one of the best channels. Thank you, Sean Smith. We'll try our best to like spread our enthusiasm about spiders and tarantulas. So I hope that works. But anyway, of course, we would love to see Formicochilus in the wild, and I have to tell you that we already tried in finding them, but we were not really successful. I was there with a friend of mine for like private vacation on the island of Borneo, but we did not specifically search for tarantulas, so therefore I did not find Formicochilus, but we found another species of tarantula, and it was quite fun to have at least one tarantula seen, even though we have not focused on finding them. So that's a future plan for sure. Some German guy I was speaking to said biggest blondie he had was a wild-caught female that was 34 centimeters back in the 80s. Probably, I will not say something against these statements. They're usually getting quite or much bigger in the wild than we keep them as pets. So could potentially be that they are bigger, and there are also bigger specimens out there for sure. What was the most defensive species you encountered in the wild? Um, Defensive species, I would say the last one was Haplopelma lividum from Thailand, the blue, cobalt blue tarantula, and that was quite defensive. So she did not like that we tickled her out of the burrow. She was, of course, coming out because she thought the tickling stick is a prey item. But after that, she was really defensive. But I think just Asian fossorial species or terrestrial species, they're just that defensive in general. So you have to handle them with care. Otherwise, the Poecilotheria subfusca we found in Sri Lanka was very calm. So not like the ones I had as a pet tarantula. Wow, so many questions. That's awesome. I'll just head over to another picture so we're not looking at a bird. So you can also always find crabs. These crabs are also living in holes, in burrows, and you often think that you have just found an interesting tarantula burrow, and later on you will maybe discover that there's just a crab inside. So they're still beautiful, but it's probably not the thing you're looking for, and therefore, yeah. Eriophora, very nice species, small one. Dinopis, also awesome species. They're net casting orb weavers, I think, in English. Sorry, my English is not the best, and the specific words or species names in English are hard to remember. But these are also quite interesting because the web you can see here, they use to catch the prey with it. So they use it like this and they catch the prey in flight. Awesome spider. Snake, we did encounter a snake on Trinidad in the night. Just a small one, but nicely colored. Yeah, and here were the first sights actually of tarantulas on Trinidad. And it was on a rooftop, a metal rooftop, and honestly, this is the best place if you're looking for arboreal tarantulas, and it doesn't matter in which country. Of course, the country has to have like arboreal tarantulas, but if you're looking for them, make sure you check the man-made stuff first, because there are no leaves who like could potentially be inside if you're looking for their webbing. And here you can clearly see the entrance and the webbing, and that was the first sight. During the night, we managed to find our first spiderling of this species in Trinidad, and yeah, you probably know already what it could be. It's Psalmopoeus cambridgei. Very awesome species. I probably one of the most favorite species of mine. Psalmopoeus genera or genus in general, but of course the other ones from the same subfamily, they're just really awesome. This one had quite a fight probably in the past few weeks, so they have regenerated leg, as you can see, but they're just awesome spiders. So Psalmopoeus ornatus of your video, that species was compared with type material or any voucher characters? No, it was not, since we've not collected any material there. But what I know is that there is a river stream, and actually the fact that there's just a single option regarding the description of the material who like leads to this area, and in the whole area there were just no signs of Psalmopoeus ornatus, until you reach that very spot, after you like do all your research regarding natural history data and possible formations of vegetation. So the vegetation level differs, and that was actually the reason why we like put the name on this very picture and video. As with any species we identify here, it's almost never 100%, because type material examining is not something everyone can do. As part of my work, I've examined quite a few type material, but not from this genus Psalmopoeus. So no, as a short answer, we did not compare the material of Psalmopoeus ornatus we call in the video with type material. Will you find Psalmopoeus antinous Bolivia in the wild? I hope so, but I'm not sure when I'm going to Bolivia. But it would certainly be a very interesting species to find. Also, there is the Araña polito, the chicken spider from Peru, from the same genus, and that's probably the one I'd like to see first. Greetings back to Florida. When is the breeding season for the blondie in Suriname, and what are the temperatures outside and inside? Yeah, that's always tricky. Actually, I can't tell you right just out of my head. Yeah, we were not that lucky in finding Terravosa blondie, so it was probably already during the mating season. So that's actually something I could see, that these spiders were already in their burrows, already protecting their burrows yeah, silking it up, so we were not able to find them. That's an option why we did not find that many um, Terrafosa blondi in the wild. Hi from South Africa. Hi back to South Africa. So here another picture of Psalmopoeus cambridgei, and that was taken on the roadside embankment. So it's not a purely arboreal species. Of course, it is purely arboreal, but yeah, when there's some other places where they can build their constructions on, then of course they will do it. Here is a big adult female on also man-made structures, so that's also something you should check always. It's the easiest way to find arboreal species. Beautiful adult female, but quite hungry. As you can see, the abdomen is almost, or even though a little bit smaller than the carapace. So, and that one is even hungrier than the one before. You can see the abdomen is very small, and yeah, that was actually about 3 to 4 meters up in the tree. So I had to use the telephoto lens, to like zoom in, and they were not. Yeah, they were very shy. I thought if they, because they were hungrier or hungry, more hungry. Yeah, that's my English wording again. But I thought because they were more hungry, they would stay, and you could do like better pictures, better photo shoot. But that was not the case. So one of the species we found on Trinidad was this Psalmopoeus cambridgei, very awesome species, and yeah, something species which every collection should have. They're just amazing feeders. They look very beautiful, and the Psalmopoeus irminia from the neighboring country do look even more beautiful. Close-up shot. Yeah, there is not much more to tell. Maybe regarding the species of Psalmopoeus cambridgei and Psalmopoeus irminia, there's a lot of crossbreeding in the hobby on these two species, and yeah, that's probably due to the fact that these two species are not that long separated in the wild. So that's probably another topic we could talk about. It's more into evolutionary biology and zoology, but you should not like mix them and make hybrids of them, even though they look sometimes interesting, but you should not do it. Keep them separate. Cambridgei and irminia, that would be nice. My mate has a Terrafosa blondie. He claims they're stuck here, built the French Guiana. Yeah, that's something I mentioned earlier. Actually, I thought they were more compact, the ones we found in Suriname, and that's, yeah, very interesting that he has one from Suriname. All are they also very hairy? You could just leave a comment in this video. So very, it would be interesting to hear how they look like. Yeah, Psalmopoeus pulcher from Panama, awesome species. I really love the genus Psalmopoeus. They're just awesome looking. Ishnotele caudata, diplurid. You can see the long spinnerets here, and they're also doing quite a lot of webbing in if you keep them as pets. So yeah, quite awesome. Some other spiders and arachnids. Yeah, there were so many. The diversity was so amazing. That's actually a jumping spider. I know, I thought at first it was an ant. Um, but if you look closer, and I try to zoom in here, you can clearly see that's a jumping spider. You can see the eyes here. There are 8 eyes. But they're built like an ant. And they're just mimicking the ants. And also, the very first pair of leg is imitating the ants. I don't know how to say it in English, but they're just fascinating. Whip spider, I think in English, amblypygid. Very awesome. There are tons of them, and during the night they were not venomous and just awesome looking. Cyclosa, also quite awesome species. They build structures in their web, so you can basically just tell them apart by looking at their web. Small lizards, they were also present, of course. There has to be food for some of the tarantulas. And that's another species of tarantula we found in Trinidad. Yeah, not from the Theraphosinae subfamily, so no urticating hairs present. Quite remarkable looking. Any questions? Wow, there's so many. Be nice if you could make it next year BTS show. Yeah, I'll try to do it. Would be nice. I've never been there actually, and BTS is huge. I've seen some pictures on a time lapse video of Mark where he walked past the line where the people were standing. Yeah, would be nice for sure to meet some of you there. And since we're already 25 minutes in, I would say this is the last tarantula for today. Or you have some more questions, of course. But this very last tarantula I'll show you here is, yeah, also quite remarkable. The entrance burrow or the entrance hole is very small in diameter, and therefore it was a bit hard to find. You can see by the picture it was an open grassland, so it was not in the forest. Finding tarantulas in the forest is, yeah, way harder than you could basically do it on man-made areas or structures, just like this field here. But during the night, you could actually see the spiders, and you see these yellow orange fringes here, just awesome looking, and we managed to get her out. It's a Pseudhapalopus trinitatis, a species which is by now also in the hobby, and yeah, they were just remarkable. They get quite big, like this size, I would say, and they're quite an attitude. So they were not defensive, but more like hungry, or they wanted to show like they're they're present there, and you can't really disturb them. Beautiful species. Some of them have a black triangle on their carapace, just as some Brachypelma species have from time to time. And as with this one, it's of course not a distinguishable feature or character you can use for species uh, yeah, identification. So this black carapace triangle is happening in yeah, some populations, some don't have it, and that's all the mystery behind it. Beautiful species, Pseudhapalopus trinitatis, for the ones who maybe wants to get a sling of this species. Also from Trinidad. And I would say this is the last one. It's not a tarantula, so we don't end this one with tarantula. But it's a Sparassidae, and a very nicely colored one for, yeah, South America terms, I would say. In Southeast Asia, there are a lot Sparassidae, like hunting spiders, who are very colorful. For example, the Heteropoda lunula, for example, they're very colorful. And in the South America or Central America, there are not that many colorful Sparassids, but this one certainly is. And there is also another form where these grayish parts, like tarsus, metatarsus here, is not gray, but it's completely blue. That's the one from French Guiana. This one here was pictured in Trinidad as well. And I'll just head over to the comment section a last time. I do have a question. Do you fund your own expeditions, or are they arranged and paid by your employee? It would be awesome to have an employee who is like doing the arrangement of the expeditions, but No, that's not the case. So I'm working full-time job. You can see I've not even changed my clothes because I thought like, well, this live stream would be a thing to like show you past field trips, and I just set everything up and did it. So no, there is no finance involved. I finance myself with a full-time job, working from like, I don't know, 7 8 a.m. until like 6 p.m. So normal day job. And no, there is no finance involved, but who knows what the future will bring. So let's see. And the next question was, tell us more about the tarantula from Congo. I certainly can or could do it. I will first clear some things with Andrew Smith. Actually, he is the one who like found this one out, that there is another species of potentially bigger tarantula, and I'm not like the guy who's like stealing someone's ideas or research. So because he has found out, I will talk to him, and if he's okay with doing a video about this potentially bigger tarantula than Teravosa blondi, then I'll do it, or maybe we can do it together. So let's see what the future brings here. Are you surprised that university doesn't recruit you? Well, we've worked with several universities together, and I usually try to like get in contact with local universities to from the places we visit. Um, so there is always research involved, and we're always sharing our information with professional scientists who have like the funding to do. And for the last projects we have, there's just private financial funding. So the research we do or we already did, for example, with Psalmopoeus, Tapinauchenius, and the new genus Pseudoclamoris, it was all privately funded because it's the thing we love to do. It's just passion, and therefore the money we earn from our day jobs we try to save, and part of it goes into field trips, part of it goes into research, but most of it goes into spiders. So yeah, that's a good thing and a bad thing. So I would end this here right now. We're just over 30 minutes. It was a first try of like showing you past field trips. We just did Trinidad, so no Terrafosa blondi for now. This will be in the next episode on the very same slides as here. Um, yeah, that's for it. I hope you enjoyed this sort of live stream. I certainly did. There were a lot of people here, even though it's already quite late on my side. So that's it. Thanks for it. See you guys hopefully next time again.